Hi, I'm Melanie from Nova Scotia, Canada, and this is Adventures in Groceryland. And this series is Newbie Container Gardening in Nova Scotia. This is update number 3. We had moved to a location where standard gardening isn't really feasible. The ground is rocky, shale, bedrock, granite, and the soil is not viable. So we decided to put in a garden anyways and exclusively garden from containers. This is new to us, so follow along on our journey. We have had a lot of rain, which is really disappointing in the grand scheme of gardening. A lot of people are losing things just because of the excessive amount of rain. We have good drainage for the things that we have planted, so I'm positive that it's not going to have as adverse an effect on us as it possibly could, but you just never know. You just really don't know what the excessive amount of rain, what it could do to your garden. So we are trying this and we have lots of hopes, and thanks so much for following along. We repurpose everything. So previously you would have seen my cherry tomatoes, my duck tomatoes were in these small containers that I was able to get from Home Depot Garden Center. They were disposing of them. And when we upsized the cherry tomatoes into the bigger size pots that my parents gave us, we were able to reuse these containers for the 50-cent celery that I bought at Kent Building Supplies that we are now succession planting, because the celery that we have growing is, I'd probably say a good 6 weeks or maybe even 8 weeks ahead of this. We've had 2 days of really high heat and moderate sun. It hasn't been crazy sunny. We have had some overcast, some clouds, but definitely I feel like things are getting better. The beefsteak tomatoes seem to be the ones that are the floppiest, that are the droopiest. My yellow pear tomatoes are not droopy at all. And these are the little ones in the front. Those are the yellow pear as well. My cherry tomatoes, they are not droopy either. But these ones in the back here, oh, did I say these ones were beefsteak? These are Romas. The Romas are droopy and the beefsteaks are droopy. But none of my newer tomatoes are droopy at all. So hopefully a little more sun will bring these right around. I'm over here with the rhubarb and the asparagus. Saw my uncle, big gardener, on the weekend, and I asked him, what do you think about this new rhubarb that I put in? Can I pick a couple stalks from this to help generate some new growth? And he said, first summer in, leave it. So that is what we are going to do. What I might do is clean up some of the yucky leaves, or maybe as they're dying, get them out of there. But I think I'm just going to follow what he is saying and leave it. There is some new growth down here, and this is why I asked him. There is new growth. So I was like, well, if there is new growth and then I pick off some of those older leaves, like that would just stimulate more growth, right? I don't know. That's what I thought. And then I'm still very, very impressed here. This is my biggest asparagus for sure. And this one is starting to get fluffy as well. The new one coming in down here. And then over here, taller. This one is fluffy, but it has fallen down, and I'm not sure if that makes a big difference. This one's quite tall, you can see there. And I don't know if I should try to stake that up or not. Let me know, should I stake this up? And this one had, this one has another baby shoot right here. Okay, great. And this one is growing, and I really don't see anything. I thought this one had, I don't really see anything new here, so I'll just keep watching for that. 2 asparagus over by the deck. This one is looking great, and it actually has 2 stalks. And there's that old Egyptian wandering onion. And then in the back here, more asparagus. So it hasn't been raining. I think it stopped 2.5 days ago. So this is just a little update. We'll do another little update in a couple days. I just want to talk about my jalapeno peppers. So I was expecting, because this one is a Giganti 2, and these ones are just jalapeno M. I was really thinking that the Giganti 2s were going to be very gigantic. But you can see, we even have the jalapeno M's in smaller pots, and the plants are quite a bit taller. So here's my Giganti 2, and then up here is my jalapeno M. Same thing on the next level up. Just really interesting. These jalafuegos are doing really, really well. Like these leaves. Oh my goodness! Oh my gosh! Yay! Okay, I did not know that that was in there. And I have another one here. Okay, these are obviously early producers. Oh, that's very, very exciting. I have to show the handsome one. We don't have anything yet on any of the jalapeno M's. And this is that burrito, hot pepper burrito. Nothing down here yet. Our Brussels sprouts are really doing, I think, quite well. I'm not really sure what Brussels sprouts are supposed to look like because we have never grown Brussels sprouts before, but the plants look really healthy. I'm happy with them. You can see the potatoes are, of the first succession planting that we did, which is on the right, are at twice the size as the potatoes on the left. Peppers are still doing, these are just wonder peppers. They're still doing great. And up in here, this is the celery. Still looking good. We still really don't know how long you let this grow before you harvest it. Got two kinds of zucchinis. So the first zucchini that we got, which were these dark green zucchini, we planted and we put the fabric planter up on top of this rock. I am just starting to get a zucchini. You can see down in here. So we're just starting to get a zucchini there. The cucumbers have all really come around. Everything is looking really great. We do have a couple that we saw on there. I can't remember exactly where they are to show. But then when I come over even further, I wish that I could find the little tag that was in these zucchinis because I know it's a different strain, but definitely that one's getting bigger. We have moved a few things around here, so you can still see, oh man, this is in just such hard shape. I don't even know if maybe we should just be bringing them inside. I mean, it's only 3 planters, and these seem to be, this is my eggplant, and these seem to be the ones that are being hit the hardest. We're not exactly sure what's eating them, but I think maybe bringing them inside at night might be better. And what we did here is we did end up pulling forward the squash, moved it to the end, moved this one forward so that we could pull out the little baby broccolis that aren't doing as well as those ones we got out of the 6-packs earlier. We just want them to get as much sun as possible. This is our little squash, and it's not so little anymore. It's getting bigger, bigger. And hidden under here is another broccoli. I didn't realize that was under there. It's totally shaded by these leaves. We're going to have to figure something else out. Bush beans are still growing. Now, what's this up here? What is that? Big thing. Comments. Love to know what you think this is. Wonder if that's what's eating the leaves. Someone is here now. He is going to take a picture of this and try to get Google to identify it. We're wondering if this is the culprit of all of those missing pieces out of the leaves. The peas are doing great. They're starting to attach onto those little trellises. These trellises were $3 for $3.75 at Dollarama. And my Swiss chard is reviving. The sun is shining now, but it wasn't the case yesterday. It absolutely torrentially downpoured here. We got so much rain that my shoreline, I don't know if you can see this here, like the water is right up onto the bank. We are about 18 inches, so all of these rocks were not underwater. This was the shoreline. all of this. So let me see, I don't want to fall in, but I want to get down here so you can see my hand is in the water. Obviously, the grass and the clover doesn't grow in the water. This is how much water we have here. We are extremely fortunate. We had no damage to our house. I did have struggles with internet connectivity today. We have no mobile or cell service where we live anyways, so everything is through the connected Wi-Fi, so that was very, very problematic. I have been complaining about how much water we have been getting and how it has had an adverse effect on some of my plants. Like, these were not underwater. Like, this stuff, this is quite something. Like, all of this, you can even kind of see all of these plants here. All of this here, like all of those are all underwater now, and they were growing on the land before. Like, so water is starting about here. You can see how far out it is going. But again, very, very fortunate that is really the only thing that has been impacted here. Our dock is now not sitting above the water how it normally is. It's actually, the water is actually coming up the side of the dock. So I don't know how this is going to affect my gardens, but this is where we're at now. Everything survived the heavy rain, but it is not in great condition. Again, we've cleaned everything up as best as we could. That's got to come off of there. But what seems to be holding up the best are the new plants, the small ones, and they are growing. Like, that is really, really big compared to what they were. These are the Sweet Million cherry tomatoes that we have on the deck, that we had in the smaller containers, and then we moved them into these bigger, smaller containers. And I'm going to say that they have tripled in size just in the last week since we got them in these containers here. They're starting to get flowers. So hopefully we are going to have cherry tomatoes off of these ones soon. These plants are in excellent, excellent shape. Peppers and potatoes are still looking good. No peppers on the green peppers as of yet. Potatoes are looking really great. I love that we decided to do the succession planting. Very, very good shape. The celery is looking great. Neighbors just arrived, so dogs have gone into red alert mode. The zucchini and the cucumbers have really just exploded. We've got all kinds of flowers, so hopefully we're going to be getting some zucchini. But down here, we are definitely getting some, so 2 big ones and another little small one. So hopefully those do well. We are getting cucumbers. We're starting to get cucumbers here. None of the English cucumbers that we've seen yet. However, everything is growing really, really well. They're growing up the trees. They're growing onto the deck. Everything is looking really good here, so very happy. And we have moved some of the stuff around over here. Everything is looking good. So this is broccoli. We have not been bringing the eggplants inside. They're no worse than what they were before. No better, but no worse. And the little broccolis are still pretty little. Those ones are getting bigger. Those ones are the ones that came out anyways. But here we are having bigger zucchinis come, and the squash is getting bigger. Lots of growth on the celery. Everything is looking really good over here. And this is looking really, really great. Let's see if I can get a shot here, like from the water. Everything is just looking so awesome. Beans are coming along, but nothing yet. This is just This is the most of what we've got here. Peas are looking good. Although a little haggard, the Swiss chard is still alive, still coming along. Cabbage patch is looking okay, getting bigger. Celery is looking really good since we got them in these individual pots. The pumpkin patch is getting lots of flowers. It's not getting lots of leaves. I'm not sure how big the plants are supposed to get, but we have absolutely been fertilizing. So with all of the rain, we have been extra fertilizing the pumpkins, the squash, and the tomatoes. I'm in the jalapeno patch and the Brussels sprouts, and you can see this is the Handsome One's new toy. This is a garden meter, so it reads the pH level of the plant in the bottom. It reads the moisture level, so down here it's wet. At the top says how much sun it's getting, and you can scroll through to find the nutrient level of your plants, and it can help us figure out what the plants need to make them better. So this is his little toy, Amazon special, wasn't very expensive. The happy news is, check out even how much bigger the jalapenos have gotten in just a few short days. So those are the ones I noticed before, and this is a new one right here. So this is the first one that we're getting on the Giganti 2. And up here, we actually have several little nubs coming. So this is very exciting. Everything's looking great. Honestly, everything is really looking great except the tomatoes. I'm still real concerned about the tomatoes. The newer ones, so the ones that I got, and I split some with my mom. So we have these 3 in the front that are the yellow pear. And then we have those specialty cherry tomatoes on the side. They're in really, really good shape. The plants are incredibly healthy. I actually feel like I want to move them away from the rest of the tomatoes because we really don't know what's wrong with it. We can speculate that it is just an excessive amount of rain, which we have really had an excessive amount of rain. But if that's not what it is, and it's something like blight or insects, I feel like if we separate them, we might be able to save some of the other ones if we do lose everything. Not sure how much, how low. My whole family was here today. Everyone's speculating on the, look at that. It's not good. So everybody's speculating on what it is, and I said I wanted to take off a lot of the lower branches, a lot. And then they said, oh, don't do that. That's going to stress your plant out, and it might not survive. And I'm thinking in my mind, I'm not sure if they're going to survive if I don't do that. So what would the difference be? This one was pretty healthy. Of all of the plants here, this one was the healthiest, and now today this. And this is why I think there might be something different that I don't know about. Tomatoes come in here. Tomatoes come in here. I just don't know. I don't know about these tomatoes. I just wish definitively I had some big tomato expert come and say oh, this is what it is, and if you do this, you'll be able to fix it. It's disappointing for sure. So definitely keeping the ones separated on the deck, and perhaps even moving some of these other ones. The new mint that I got has already flowered. So that's fine. I mean, it was in those teeny little pots. I'm not surprised that something that I bought in a pot is already flowering like this. But next year, this will be different. It'll be more seasonal based on the actual season where we live. It's awfully pretty though. Update on my little herb garden. It is not going well. So I might have mentioned in the past that I have tried to grow herbs many times over the years, and I just haven't had a lot of success. So I got these little containers. They hang on the rod right underneath of my kitchen window, right behind the taps. I had planted lettuce, then coriander, basil, parsley, sage, and oregano, and summer savory. I had stuff growing, so I did have quite a bit of coriander growing, but as you can see, everything has dried up. These are bad. Like if I touch them, those will just crumble. The basil is still doing okay. It is really the only thing that is doing okay, and it is not that okay. It's just more okay than everything else. This is the parsley, and it didn't grow for a long, long, long time. And now I have one not great strand, you see that laying down, and one that is doing okay. So I'm not certain how this is going to go. This is sage. I had 2 really good sages and they both died. And this one then has come up. It's still not doing great. I did have 1 oregano in there. It is now gone. And my summer savory, which was doing really good, is not doing great. So these are some things that I have done. These are wicks. So when you water, the water goes in the back here. It lays in the bottom. These little the little black pots rest on top, and the wick brings the water up and keeps the soil moist. And I think that I just had too much water in there. And then with all of the rain, the humidity was incredibly high, outside, inside, everywhere. And I just think it was too much. So I actually dumped the water out. I have been spraying these and misting them from the top, but I don't know if I should put more water in the base and do both, or try that way again, or just keep misting from the top. Honestly, I'm really unsure, just because my success has been so limited with herbs, and I really want to grow herbs, which is why I keep trying. So I'm going to miss them again. Certainly welcome any feedback on herb growing. So you could see that we had some updates that were a couple days apart, and there is actually quite a difference in some of the plants in just those few short days. We had excessive rain on the lake that we're on. We had some people measured at 60 some millimeters and some at over 100 millimeters. And this is the second downpour that we had. There was lots of local flooding. Roads are damaged, infrastructures just can't handle this much rain here. We're not prepared for that. And we are extremely fortunate where we're located that we personally didn't have any damage. The lake is just extra high, and the plants have been extra wet. We had 2 good days of sun in a row. That's really, really positive. And I'm hoping that everything will dry out and really just start to explode. We have been fertilizing extra, but we need to fertilize more. Thanks so much for tuning in, and share with me what you are doing for gardening. Do you have any container garden? Any container plants in your garden? Are you on a balcony? Are you doing this in your house? Are you doing it on just a flat patio in the backyard? Let me know. Thanks so much, everybody.